The universe speaks in whispers, and one of its quietest, yet most compelling voices is coincidence. But not all coincidences are the same. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, introduced the concept of synchronicity to describe those uncanny moments when an internal thought aligns with an external event in a way that feels deeply meaningful. These moments defy explanation by logic alone. They aren't fantasy or superstition. They seem to be bridges between the inner landscape of the psyche and the outer unfolding of life. Imagine dreaming of a blue butterfly and seeing one the next day in an unlikely place, or thinking of someone out of the blue just before they call you. These are not just random occurrences. They feel like signals from something larger, an unseen pattern connecting thought and experience. Jung arrived at these insights through decades of work with the unconscious mind. He noticed that these meaningful coincidences often occur during emotionally charged periods, times of crisis, transition, or deep reflection. A heartbreak, a major career decision, or a spiritual awakening can stir a series of symbol-laden events, dreams, and unexpected encounters. These happenings don't follow linear cause and effect. Instead, they seem to emerge when the rational mind relaxes its grip and the unconscious begins to speak in its own language, a language made not of logic, but of symbols, feelings, and images that rise from the depths of the psyche. At the root of synchronicity lies not only the personal unconscious, the forgotten memories and buried feelings unique to each individual, but the collective unconscious, a concept Jung proposed as a shared reservoir of human experience. Within this deep pool lie archetypes, timeless patterns such as the hero, the mother, the shadow, and the trickster. These symbols don't just exist in ancient myths or fairy tales. They live on in our dreams, our relationships, and our daily challenges. When these archetypes begin to show up in waking life through animals, whether recurring numbers or symbolic objects, they often carry significant psychological meaning. A snake might suggest an impending transformation. Repeated encounters with water could reflect emotional depth or inner cleansing. These aren't just visual cues. They are signs, messages from the unconscious, drawing attention to what's happening within. Jung linked these experiences to the ancient practice of alchemy, where the transformation of lead into gold was not only a physical process, but a spiritual metaphor. In this sense, synchronicity is part of the soul's alchemical journey. It often appears during the dark night of the soul, a time when old identities dissolve and a more authentic self begins to emerge. These moments don't offer direct answers. They serve instead as subtle guidance, nudging the individual toward inner clarity and integration. Engaging with synchronicity means stepping beyond a purely rational mindset into one that honors the mystery of life. It involves noticing what stirs the heart or sparks the intuition. When a strange coincidence occurs, ask what you were feeling, what inner struggle you're experiencing, and what the symbol might represent universally. Patterns will begin to form, symbols will echo, and through this, a dialogue with the unconscious takes shape. These signs rarely flatter the ego. They often point toward what needs to be healed or acknowledged, a fear of change, a suppressed truth, or an overlooked strength. True synchronicity is not for entertainment. It is a wake-up call from the soul. If ignored, the signals grow louder. If honored, they lead us deeper into our own story. The universe, far from indifferent, participates in your evolution. The next time a coincidence catches your attention, don't dismiss it, let it open a door. The message might be exactly what your soul has been waiting for.